Summer is coming and it's going to get crazy between the kids out of school and trying to do vacations and doing hotel stays and the kids doing this summer activity and that summer activity. When are you going to have time to cook meals? Really? Seriously. And how are you going to keep those kids fed throughout the day? You need to give them snacks, first of all. And before I get into that, I'm going to talk about the June specials from Thrive and why I've pulled these specific pieces for my recipe today. Mashed potatoes are on sale, strawberry slices, sweet corn, diced beef, green beans, diced chicken, instant refried beans, chopped onions, mozzarella cheese, and chopped spinach. Okay, let's talk about the kids first. First of all, we have our strawberry slices, and they're like biting into a Lucky Charms marshmallow, but they're healthier. Give the kids a little baggie of these and give them something to munch on. And when you check the website, you'll also find that we have yogurt-covered strawberries in our shop as well. But that link will be down below. But these are a great snack. Now, they're also great for breakfast. You can rehydrate them and fold them into your yogurt. You can rehydrate them with milk like my husband does and put them in your oatmeal. Rehydrate them and you have fresh sliced strawberries that you did not have to wash. You did not have to slice. They're just ready to go. Okay? Then we have the diced beef and the diced chicken. Now, I used the diced beef and the diced chicken a couple of weeks ago in Linda's pantries, her tortilla soup. I did some with the beef and then I did some with the diced chicken. In my personal opinion, if I'm going to do a soup or a stew, I prefer the diced over the ground. Just a personal opinion. Same with the diced. I'd rather use the diced than use the sliced. And I'm going to talk about the slice in a minute. So, doing Linda's tortilla soup, or if you want to create your own vegetable soup with, say, the green beans and the chopped onions, and do those and then maybe cover them with some of the rehydrated mashed potatoes, and you have a quick shepherd's pie. Great for camping because you can do that in a cast iron skillet over your campfire and you have a shepherd's pie. So there's that. Then we have the mozzarella cheese. Now the mozzarella cheese and the cheddar cheese work identical. You can use this if you want to do an individual veggie lasagna, and you can use the spinach, lasagna noodles, and I'm going to show you one other ingredient that's not on the sale but is a great thing to have in your pantry, particularly for doing individuals. And this is our tomato sauce. Now, there is a difference between the tomato sauce and the tomato powder. The tomato sauce is just as if you had opened a jar of spaghetti sauce, except you don't have to have an entire quart jar of spaghetti sauce open to make a small portion of anything. You can make this up in small portions just as you need it, and it's all seasoned just the way it is. So that is the tomato sauce. So then you could use the vegetables and make an individual lasagna with this. Now, I rehydrated the cheddar cheese last week and I added it to my tortilla soup. Super tasty. And then we have the spinach. Now, this is one that goes with that quiche recipe that I've been talking about. And I will post the quiche recipe down below. I do have one cautionary tale. The can suggests a half cup of water to 1 cup of spinach. If you're just cooking for you or 1 or 2 people, I would cut that in half. Because once that spinach hydrates, you have, if you rehydrate a cup of spinach, you're going to have almost 2 cups of spinach to do something with. And for me, it was too much spinach in my quiche. But Bob doesn't do greens. So if I just want to do spinach and add it to, say if we're doing a tuna noodle casserole, or I want to add it to my quiche, something like that, I can just rehydrate this and eat it as it is. I have not tried eating it by itself. I love spinach. I love canned spinach. So I'll have to get back to you on how I like this rehydrated and just eating it by itself. So I will leave the recipe for the quiche in the description box below. Now here's a tip with the quiche. Bob and I are really cutting carbs, have been for several years, so I do not bake my quiche in a pie crust. I use a round casserole dish that I have buttered the sides and the bottom liberally. And then when everything bakes, I layer in my sausage crumbles, I can add mushrooms, and we've got those. I can do the spinach. I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then I pour my egg mixture, my egg and milk mixture over top. And when I put the cheese on there, when it bakes, the cheese kind of forms a crust all the way around. And so you don't need a pie crust because the cheese will do that for you. So something else to keep in mind, but I will leave the instructions for that down in the description box below. You can use the diced onions. You can use the spinach. I recommend the sausage crumble and the shredded cheddar cheese. Now, some of these items are not on sale this month, but if you're not going to plan on making it this month, pick up the items that are on sale this month, and then when the other ones come around, pick those up, and then you'll have everything you need. If you want to stay within a budget. I get that. I do that myself. I limit how much I can spend every month on my Thrive. So, strawberry snacks for the kids, tortilla soup for you, individual lasagnas for you, and quiche for breakfast, and you've got it made. That's going to do it for me today. I may or may not be back here next Friday with the Freeze Dry Friday. I'm headed for a writer's conference, and I'm trying to immerse myself in finishing book 2 of my Plan to Perfection series that takes place in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I will leave the link for book 1 down in the description box also. Thanks for joining me today in the homestead. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Please be safe, always be prepared, and be blessed.